Hi, it's good to be with you. It would really help as you read this, or watch it, or listen to it, or a combination of any of the above, if you have the Gospel reading with you as well. And even better, if you're able to watch this or read this, to do so in the garden. I've been enjoying short films sent into Gardener's World. That's the gardening programme on BBC Two each week. It's so intriguing to see what folk all over the country are doing with their gardens, sometimes successfully, sometimes not, and learn from what they share. I've been working in our garden too, tending, coaxing, cajoling seeds, or at least that's what it seems like, into life. Actually, it means going out each morning to see if something's germinated or grown, or horror of horrors, being pecked to death by a bird or munched by a slug. And so I love the two images we come across today as we continue our journey through Mark's Gospel, the set Gospel for this year. And I want you to take you back to the very first verse of the Gospel to remind us of the context. The beginning of the good news of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. That's how Mark introduces his version of the Jesus story. The seed of the kingdom of God has been sown. A small seed, a scrap of humanity in a backwater part of the Roman Empire. A wandering teacher with a group of followers spending a lot of time tucked away in the north of the territory, talking to and spending time with ordinary folk. A small seed. But, as Mark tells us, this seed is good news. It's full of what's to come. How is that? Well, the first parable that could play through our heads like a short film shows seeds sown and an anxious farmer watching, waiting for growth day and night, powerless to make it happen. A seed laid in the depths of the soil. Will anything come of it? A seed hidden in a secret place. Is God's promised kingdom really going to grow from this? Then the seed arises, grows, and produces a harvest that is quickly gathered in. From what looks like death comes life and fruit. The life of the kingdom, the fruit of the kingdom. And the word used for that arising of the seed is a word that refers to resurrection, to the resurrection life that was and is integral to the kingdom of God. New life coming from apparently small, inconsequential beginnings, things that look like there might be nothing there, in incredibly surprising ways. And the second parable, the small seed and the huge plant, so large that birds can shelter in it. To what will you liken the kingdom of God, Jesus says. Let me offer you, he could be saying, a new picture, a fresh vision. Certainly not the one you're looking for, which is all about getting back what you have lost, defeating your enemies, being top dog again. A very human vision. From what looks like the smallest of beginnings in the most difficult situation comes a plant capable of sheltering all who come to it. A picture used actually in both Ezekiel and Daniel to signify a great kingdom growing like a tree and offering shelter to all around. Out of the darkness of the ground comes abundant life available to all. Out of death comes resurrection growth and the saving of the nations. That's what the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus brings when his kingdom comes. Our motto here at St Mark's is extending God's kingdom within us and through us. Our diocesan vision statement is the kingdom of God, good news for all. As we hopefully move away from the intensity of the last 15 months, but with the knowledge that life has changed irrevocably in many ways, I think we should linger over these two images of God's kingdom and let them speak to us individually, as a congregation, and across the diocese. The good news of Jesus is still just that, good news. The best news, in fact, and God still calls us to live it, to proclaim it, to demonstrate it, living it out so that lives are transformed, so that the church grows, so that community is built. But God's way is to use small seeds that he takes, sows, blesses and grows. The prayers that we find it so hard to articulate, the things that we say or do that we think are so insignificant as to have no consequence. The conversations, the activities, as we are faithful in what we might see as small things, God is faithful in his response. Be encouraged. Don't despise small things. God is at work immeasurably more than we can think or ask through the good news of Jesus Christ. Keep praying, keep speaking out, keep acting as God directs, individually and together, and we will see signs of the kingdom. We have seen signs of the kingdom. Mind you, not necessarily where we expect to or how we expect them to happen. Be blessed. Be a small seed. Sow a small seed. And look for the coming of the kingdom of God.